Now, let me see. Jingle bells, jingle all the day. Oh, dad rat it. There's something wrong with this O string, Molly.
There isn't any O string, McGee.
Why, sure there is. Listen. Jingle bells, jingle all the way. Oh, you see, it always goes wrong on the O.
I think it's your conscience, dearie.
What do you mean, my conscience?
Well, instead of lying there on your back playing that mail-order mandolin, you should be helping me trim this Christmas tree. Where do you think this little bell ought to go?
Right up on top. Jingle bells, jingle bells.
But it doesn't belong on top, McGee. That's where the big star always goes. We always put the star up on top.
Well, why don't we do something different for once? We're getting in a rut.
Christmas is a day when you don't want to do anything different. Christmas isn't Christmas unless you follow the good old rules and customs.
Oh, you're just sentimental.
Oh, and you're not, I suppose.
Nope. Cold-blooded as a frozen frog. Christmas is just another day to me. Jingle bells, jingle all the way. Whoop, 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 whoop. Doggone it anyway. What the
Why don't you play something else, dearie? Pretty Red Wing, if I may make a suggestion.
What? On Christmas Eve? Haven't you got any sentiment?
Well, play anything you like. I've got to go upstairs and find some more ornaments. Don't do any work on the tree till I get back.
I'll try to control myself. Ah, there goes a good kid, running her little legs off upstairs, trying to find more ornaments. But she won't find any up there. I just saw 'em out in the garage. Jingle bells, jingle all the way. Oh! Hey, that was a pretty effect. Wonder how I did that. Oh, that was the doorbell. Come in.
Hi, mister.
Oh, hello there, Teeny. Have a chair, and I'll dash off a few selections for you on my old mandolin.
Oh. Listen, I'd rather you'd tell me a story, mister, about Christmas. I love Christmas stories.
You do, eh?
Hmm?
I says you do, eh?
Do what?
You love Christmas stories.
I know it.
Okay, get a good grip on yourself, sis. This is a thriller. Once upon a time...
Gee, that's not very original, mister.
What do you mean it's not very original?
Well, I got a lot of books at home, and that's the way they all start. Once upon a time. Why don't you do something different?
Look, sis, a very wise woman told me once that Christmas was a day when you don't want to do anything different. Christmas is a day when you want to follow the old rules and customs.
Who was the wise woman?
My wife. And the reason I remembered is because she just told me not more than 5 minutes ago. Another 10 minutes and I'd have never remembered it. Now quit interrupting me, will you?
Okay.
Once upon a time...
I like that.
Good. Once upon a time, a long, long time ago, there lived a little old tailor in a little cabin in a great big forest.
Oh, boy.
Well, sir, one winter day, the tailor was out for a walk in the woods when he heard a funny little whimpering noise.
Oh, was he scared?
Nah, not a bit. He had his great big scissors right in his hand. He knew if a wildcat had attacked him, he could make a coat, vest, and 2 pairs of pants out of him before he could say, I'll pay you next week.
Oh. What was the noise, mister? What was it?
That's what the little tailor wanted to know, sis. So he peers all around. He was very nearsighted, see. But he didn't care. Because when you've fitted clothes on funny-shaped people for 40 years, you've seen everything anyway.
Oh.
Well, sir, all of a sudden he peeks into a hollow stump of a tree. And there was a little bear cub, crying its little eyes out because it was so cold and he was hungry and his mama wasn't there to keep him warm.
Didn't he have any fur on him?
No, this was a bear cub, sis. He'd rubbed his fur all off trying to burrow a hole in the frozen ground that he could crawl into.
Oh.
So the little old tailor picks him up in his arms and tried to get him warm. But the wind was blowing too hard, and it was getting darker and colder every minute. And the little cub was too heavy to carry all the way back to his cabin.
Gee, what'd he do, mister? What'd he do? What did he?
Well, sir, he knew that little bear cub had to have some clothes. So he whips out his sewing kit, gathers up a lot of leaves, and was going to sew them together to make an overcoat for the little cub.
Oh.
But just then, a terrible thing happened.
I know, I bet you. The leaves were poison ivy,
No, worse than that. The tailor dropped all his needles in the snow. Bad enough to lose a needle in a haystack, sis, but in 1,000 acres of snowdrifts, that's trouble.
That poor little bear cub.
Now, take it easy, sis. Take it easy. I got him into this, and I can get him out. Well, sir, that little old tailor had lived in the woods so long that he and Mother Nature were great friends, and he knew she'd help him.
But, gee, where could he find her in that great big forest?
Why, that was easy. The bigger the forest, the closer you are to Mother Nature. So he just looked around, and there she was. "Hi, Mother," he says. "Hello, Tailor," she murmurs.
Can Mother Nature talk?
She can to people who understand her, like this little old tailor. "Listen, Mother," he says. "I've got to make some clothes for this little cub here, and I've lost all my needles in the snow. How about a fast thaw so I can find them?"
Oh, boy, did she do it, Did she,
Nope. Too many little wild creatures were sleeping under the snow, and she didn't want to disturb them till spring. So she waves her magic wand, and zippo, all those trees around them sprouted needles. The tailor grabs a handful of needles, tailors a beautiful warm overcoat for the little cub, and tucks him back into the hollow stump to wait for his mother. And that's why Christmas trees are covered with needles, sis, all the year round. To remind people that there might be other creatures that are cold and hungry. And why not spread the good things around?
Oh, McGee, I heard that story, and I loved every word of it.
Oh, hi, Miss McGee. I like the story, too, I betcha.
Good. Now, why don't you take your little sled and go out on the pond in the park?
There isn't any ice on it, mister.
Yes, I know.
Oh, McGee, don't be like that.
Well, gee whiz.
Look, mister, I got business to see you about. Do you like to hear children sing Christmas carols?
Sis, there's nothing I love more than to have a little group of childish voices stand outside my window blatting their melodious little heads off, particularly if I ain't home that night.
Oh, maybe you're still mad on account of last year,
No, I'm not. That has nothing to do with it.
What's this? What happened last year that I don't know about?
Now, never mind, sis. That's ancient history.
Well, us kids were going around singing Christmas carols, and Mr. McGee came
Never
on.
Never mind. Give the kid a cookie, Molly.
Gee, thanks, mister. Anyway, Mr. McGee came out while we were singing.
Sis, I told you nobody was interested. Now, let's just drop the subject. What kind of a cookie do you want?
Any kind, thanks. And a glass of milk. And Mr. McGee came running out of the house.
Now, cut that out,
sis. And he wanted to sing with us, only when we heard him sing, we didn't want him to, and he followed us all over town, and, gee, we couldn't get rid of him, and he kept trying to sing, and people threw things at us out of the windows, and, gee.
Oh, dad-drat it, sis. Run along now, will you? And come back tomorrow. I'll have a surprise for you.
I got a surprise for you, too, mister. I got some little friends outside who are waiting to sing you a Christmas carol.
Doggone it, sis. How many times I got to tell you I don't like kids singing Christmas carols? I don't want to hear any.
Frankly, dearie, he'd love it. But, you know, he knows himself too well. When he hears those Christmas songs, he goes all mushy inside. Now, look, you pretend he's hurt your feelings. Make believe you're going on home.
Hey, what goes on here? What are you two whispering about?
She says I better go home, mister. She says you're mad at me because I want to have the kids sing a Christmas carol for
Well,
you.
I'm not exactly mad.
I bet you are, I bet you. And, gee, the kids have been out there in the cold all this time on account of they thought...
Now, none of that, sis. Cut it out. The only reason I didn't want them to sing is, well, gee whiz.
It's okay, mister. I know how you feel. Thanks for the cookies and thanks...
Hey, don't rush away like this, sis. My gosh, I'll listen to your old Christmas carol if it means that much.
No, you don't like them.
I do, too, like them. I only thought...
You don't either like them.
I do, too.
You don't.
I do so.
No.
Yes.
No.
Look, sis, please. Here, take my handkerchief and wipe your nose.
Thank you.
Now bring in your half-pint glee club and let them do their worst, which I imagine is pretty bad.
They are not bad. They're wonderful.
Okay, so they're terrific. Bring them in.